Backend engineers can earn around $160,000 per year in 2026. That is the number often mentioned in compensation reports. It attracts developers who prefer logic, systems, performance, and infrastructure over visual interfaces. But the full picture is more layered. The ceiling exists. The competition is real. And entry-level expectations are often inflated. Now, salary breakdown. At the entry level, back-end engineers in the United States typically earn between $80,000 and $105,000 per year. Compensation depends on language proficiency, database knowledge, and exposure to production systems. Entry roles usually involve maintaining APIs, fixing bugs, writing unit tests, and supporting senior developers in feature implementation. Mid-level backend engineers generally fall into the $115,000 to $140,000 range. At this stage, engineers are expected to design scalable services, optimize database queries, implement authentication systems, and handle performance bottlenecks. Reliability and architectural awareness become increasingly important. Senior backend engineers can reach $150,000 to $160,000 or more. In certain companies, total compensation may exceed that range when bonuses and equity are included. However, those salaries reflect deep system knowledge, experience with distributed systems, and consistent delivery under production pressure. Now, market demand. Backend systems power nearly every digital product in 2026. APIs, databases, authentication layers, payment systems, and business logic engines all depend on backend engineering. That structural necessity supports stable demand across industries. Companies increasingly prioritize system reliability and scalability. As traffic volumes grow and user expectations rise, backend performance directly affects revenue and user retention. Engineers who can design efficient services and prevent outages become strategically valuable. Backend complexity is increasing as applications become more interconnected. Modern systems rely on microservices, distributed databases, external APIs, and cloud-native architectures. That interconnectedness raises the cost of failure. A poorly optimized backend does not simply slow down one feature. It can cascade across multiple services and affect user experience at scale. Engineers who understand system dependencies and failure patterns become significantly more valuable over time. At the same time, security expectations have intensified. Backend engineers are often responsible for implementing authentication flows, managing data access controls, and preventing injection vulnerabilities. Secure architecture is no longer optional, it is foundational. That additional responsibility strengthens long-term demand for skilled backend specialists. Now, competition level. Backend engineering attracts many developers transitioning from general programming roles. It is often seen as the core of software development. That perception increases competition, especially at entry levels. Employers filter candidates based on practical experience. Strong understanding of data structures, algorithms, database indexing, caching strategies, and API design are essential. Production exposure carries more weight than academic projects. Now, junior reality. Many aspiring backend engineers expect rapid salary growth. In practice, early roles focus on maintenance, incremental improvements, debugging legacy systems, and supporting larger projects. These responsibilities build foundational knowledge, but may not immediately reflect high compensation. Salary progression depends on demonstrated reliability and architectural contribution. Engineers who reduce system latency, improve database performance, and prevent outages increase their leverage over time. Now, long-term outlook. The long-term outlook for backend engineering remains stable. While front-end frameworks evolve rapidly, backend fundamentals such as data modeling, service architecture, and performance optimization remain durable skills. As businesses expand globally, backend complexity increases. Engineers who understand distributed systems, fault tolerance, and scalability principles remain valuable even as specific technologies change. Now, positioning strategy. If your goal is to approach the $160,000 range, depth matters. Master one backend language deeply. Understand database design beyond basic CRUD operations. Study caching strategies, asynchronous processing, and system monitoring tools. Another differentiator in 2026 is performance awareness. Engineers who can diagnose bottlenecks, optimize resource usage, and design resilient AP is become indispensable. That impact is measurable and directly tied to business outcomes. Another advantage in 2026 is ownership of system architecture. Engineers who move beyond feature implementation and begin designing service interactions gain leverage quickly. Architecture ownership signals trust. Trust signals promotion potential. Promotion potential signals compensation growth. In practical terms, this means developing an instinct for trade-offs, choosing between simplicity and scalability, balancing performance with maintainability. Backend engineers who can evaluate those trade-offs confidently move faster towards senior-level compensation brackets. Now, risk and resilience. Backend roles are generally resilient because they support core application logic. However, automation tools and low-code platforms may reduce demand for simple services. Engineers who expand into architecture, security, and infrastructure integration maintain stronger long-term stability. Resilience comes from understanding fundamentals rather than relying on specific frameworks. Now, final verdict. Backend engineering in 2026 can reach $160,000 and beyond. But that outcome reflects depth, architectural awareness, and consistent delivery under pressure. Entry is competitive. Mid-level growth requires system thinking. Senior compensation demands measurable technical impact. The salary potential is real. The responsibility is real. The competition is real. For developers who prefer logic, scalability, and infrastructure, backend engineering remains one of the most stable and financially rewarding technical career paths available today.